Hi friends, this is Kristen here. I've got a sketchbook with me that I'm gonna be working in, or you can use like some watercolor paper or mixed media paper if you're looking to paint with me. This is a watercolor sketchbook. I have some real simple craft paint, and I pulled out complementary colors. I took a little quick art course in the fall, and this was one of their prompts they did, was combining the complementary colors and working within those colors to make new colors. And it was really kind of neat because it makes a really earthy palette. You know, I usually tell people try not to combine complementary colors because it's going to make like browns and muddy colors. But I found I really enjoyed the process and I liked the earthy color palette that it created. So I thought that I would play with that idea a little bit with all of you and see what happens. I have different colors here than what I used last time, so don't know exactly how they'll turn out, but we'll give it a try together and see. I invite you to take a moment for yourself and let's take a couple of breaths together to ground here in this present moment. It's always kind of nice. I know I always feel like some scattered energy as I'm pulling things together. So it feels really good to take a sec. And this is a really simple art ritual that you can do just actually anytime you're feeling you're being pulled out of the present. I know that happens to me a lot. I tend to naturally want to live a little more in the future, and I love like big dreams. I love planning, but I also get stuck in a bit of worry because I tend to think into the future a lot. And this is a good practice, really simple, to ground yourself and bring you right back here into the present moment. So take a moment and let's just give ourselves a little grounding breath work. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. Close your eyes if you'd like to, if it's comfortable and safe for you to do so right now. And also take a nice deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. You can even let out a sigh if you're feeling especially wound up. That's a nice little note to your body, to your brain to relax. Take another deep breath in and exhale. And take one more deep breath in and exhale right into the present moment. Before you open your eyes, you might want to take some shoulder rolls and just loosen that up a little bit. Okay, go ahead, take one more breath and open your eyes. 3 breath part you can do anytime, whenever you're feeling like you need to ground yourself in the present moment, or if you're feeling extra worried or things are just getting a little chaotic. That is a great way to center yourself. And it's also a great way to like move into your creative practice. So it's a great way to say, okay, now I'm here. Now I'm going to give myself some time to be creative, either with paint or jewelry or crochet or whatever it is you're working on. But it's like a nice transition from where you were to starting here. So here's the colors I've got. We're going to do some red and green. Maybe I'll do that first. That's one complementary color. Did I say it right? I think I did. Then we've got purple and yellow. And then we've got blue, and I need an orange, but I don't have an orange, so I pulled like a coral color. We'll see how that one goes. So I've got my palette here, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and start with using red and green. So these are two colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. That is basically what you want to do for this prompt, this kind of and I'm just gonna play with mixing these and seeing what colors it makes. So you can do like a bit of red if you want to do like, and then you can play around with how much of the green you add into it. You add a little bit of green, or if you wanted to do it more half and half. And this is going to give you some real muted, like, oh, I should have probably did red and green first. Let me do that. I think it would be fun to see on the page what each of the colors look like on their own. And you see, I'm using a green tone, so it's not like a complete, it's not a primary green that I'm using right now. And that's the color that they make together. They make this sort of like a blush color, isn't it? So I'm gonna just keep on with this page, and I'm gonna play with the colors that it makes and kind of see where we end up, just using the red and the green. And we'll see if I have restraint enough to not mess this up, because I kind of like seeing the colors that I've chosen there. Now I tend to use pretty bright colors generally, but the last year or so I've been on a little bit of a journey to lean into more earthy tones. It's been a slow process, but that's okay. That fits perfectly with the winter solstice vibe, to have a slow process, right? And I really dig when I end up with some muted colors. And right now I'm using 3 brushes so that I can switch back and forth. I'm using one brush for red, one brush for green, and then one brush for my mixed color. But as I was saying, I really love being able to take some of those muted tones and then punch it up with some brights as an accent. And so far, I just keep adding a little bit more green to my mixed tone. Ooh, that got quite gray. So we went from more of a blush color to a really kind of warm gray. And this will change every different tone that you have. So if you have a different red, say you have a deeper red, this will look, the colors that it makes are going to look a little different. If you have a more truer green or a grass green, the colors it makes will be a little bit different. Right now I have no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. This is purely a color study process. And you can see like how the color looks when you add it on top. I'm sure today is a pretty busy day for most of you out there. And I definitely have some things that I should be doing as well. But this is important too, isn't it? Making time to creatively explore and play. And I know I'll feel a whole lot calmer. It's sort of a page where you can say, these are all of the colors. Well, maybe not all, but these are some of the colors that I can create with these two right there. I almost want to bring some of that blush color in now. So what I'm gonna do is, you look at my palette, I've got the red, the green, and then the mixed color. I used a lot of the green and not a lot of the red. I'm gonna bring back some of the red in there. And that's gonna bring us into more of that blushy color again. So it looks like I got a pretty fun start to this background. I'm going to go ahead and clean these brushes off. I sadly returned home to not one, not two, but 3 mason jars with brushes in it that had dried. Oh, such bad brush management. I must not have paid attention to having those brushes in there when I left. So I'm gonna have to do some cleaning. And I found that the best thing for cleaning brushes that have paint stuck on them is Murphy's oil. So I'm gonna have to have a little Murphy's oil sesh. All right, so let's try a different combination on this page. Let's go. I really wanted to play with the blue. This is not quite orange, but I'm gonna give it a go and see what happens. Let me just double check. I don't have any oranges. Oh, I do have terracotta, which might be a little bit more orangey. I can do terracotta and the dark blue. And see what happens there. So I'm going to do the same kind of technique idea by grabbing 3 different brushes. One for each color. And on this side, maybe I'll start with the blue. And then I'll use that terracotta color. And I'm going to mix. I'm going to try and mix about half and half, just for a baseline color that has a bit of half and half in there. Ooh, so that gives you like a very dark, almost almost like a Payne's gray blue color. That's nice. So there's some blue. One of the other nice benefits of working with colors that you mix yourself with 2 other colors is that they're all going to harmonize really well together. I'm just going to keep digging and adding a little bit more terracotta to my mixed color. Ooh, that made a really rich brown. Oh, kind of like mocha mousse. That's a very mocha mousse color. Did you all see the color of the year from Pantone? If you haven't, it's mocha mousse. Spoiler alert. It's like a rich chocolate brown with notes of, ooh, see, I knew I was going to end up not being able to contain myself to leave these nice and nice and straight. Maybe I'll add another blue down here. It's an edible brown, correct. Chocolate, coffee. My coffee's a little bit lighter than what I've got here. All right, I need some more mixed color in here. Need some more. See what the next color I added. More terracotta. I've been just going and adding more terracotta to it each time. And then that just feels like an even truer brown. Let's go and add some of this blue back in and see how it goes when I go heavy on the blue. What direction it takes us. Aha, it takes us more into that gray, that blue gray color, which is really nice. Ooh, I like that blue gray color. Let's add a little bit more blue. All right, I think I have completed this page so far. They're definitely interesting colors that have come from each of them. I'll show you this page a little closer first, now that it's dry. And then this one got pretty dark. The blue and brown gets a bit dark, whereas the red and green doesn't get quite as dark. You get some nice almost olivey greens in here, like a green gray. And I probably need a piece of paper just to put here. And the blue is still kind of wet, but I think this is my favorite. This color in here is my favorite, which is almost the half and half mark. And this might be probably my favorite on this side, so I do like the half and half mark, I guess. I'm just gonna put this down so that I can flip my page. And you know, I think I have an open page this way. I do. I have a one-sided open page over here. So let's, on this one, let's do the last combo, which is purple and yellow. And let's see how that one works out. This purple is called Orchid. It's like a very light, almost like a lavender. And then this one is really kind of an ivory color. I do have a more yellow. Maybe I should go with that. Go more of a true yellow and see how those go together. So let's pick 3 more brushes. And let's there's our purple. There's the yellow, which is really quite light, transparent. And then I'm gonna mix them and put the mixed one in the center. Go about equal. Ooh, what would you call this color? Huh. Interesting. It's like not quite a yellow, not quite a green, somewhere in there. And let's add some yellow just on its own. Now this is very transparent yellow, so you're gonna see the purple kind of coming through it versus it covering like it did on the other colors. To make it less transparent, you can add a little bit of white, or maybe I'll use some of that ivory. And then we'll use this mixed color. It's definitely got like a greenish feel to it. Let's add some more add some more yellow to it first and see where that takes us. I like that color. It's a little bit deeper than just straight out of the bottle, but not quite moving into the brownie tone as that one is. This one looks very kind of mustardy to me. A light mustard. And I don't know if it'll change quite as dramatically as some of the other ones did because the yellow's so light. It's fun to see that transparency though. Are you seeing some yonis? Let's see what happens when I add more purple. This one's got more purple than yellow now. Moving into a gray, but with like very yellowy undertones. Let's get more in that purple. So this one had some interesting things happen, but it was definitely much more subtle, I feel like, with these two particular purples and yellows. But I think my favorite thing is when you've got that kind of really most muddy tone and then you come back with a brighter color on top of it. I really like that richness that happens. Let's grab some yellow. What does it look like if I add yellow on top of that brownish color? There we go. All right, so what do you guys think of this little color study process? I think it's a neat way to see what kind of colors are harmonious with other things by mixing them up, and then you can use this in other projects that that you've got going on. So this feels very much like something I could use in beading, like having a nice purple and a yellow and then having sort of the neutral tone in between to tone it down and ground it a little bit. Let's see what this is looking like over here. And this is a very like deep, rich background to get started on adding more on top there. Same for this. This one almost feels color-wise, these feel a little more complete to me for some reason than like this one does. Pretty neat. And like I said, all of the tones that you use, so you know, for the blue and orange, these are the tones I use, but if I used more of a brighter blue or a sky blue, and if I used a truer orange or maybe even like a peach, like that's all gonna create different color combinations based on the two that you start with. Well, this was fun. I hope you've enjoyed it too, and I'm curious to see if you do end up doing any color studies like this. I'd love for you to share them. You can share them in the Discover Your Creative Magic Facebook group. And yeah, and see where you ended up based on some of the colors that you played with. I think this is a fun practice. I mean, I focused in on just the colors across from the color wheel today with the red and green, the blue and orange, and the purple and yellow. But this is a great practice with any two colors. So if you have two colors that you're using in a project, this is a great little study session to figure out all the different tones and colors. Now you could do it just in lines. You can really just do it like this all the way down and do color swatching. That's a great way of doing it too. And then you could see all the different colors that you can make. But for me, this is so much more relaxing and kind of fun to have a background like this that just allowed me to play and be expressive and really free with it. So yeah. I hope you'll leave me a comment, let me know what you thought, or give me a thumbs up, or share this video with any of your creative friends. I'd love for that. And come find me over on my YouTube channel, Kristen Fagan Art. And I hope you enjoyed having a little creative time with me today. If you didn't paint and you did something else, let me know what you created. And again, you can share it in the Discover Your Creative Magic Facebook group. I always love to see what creative magic you're all up to. It's awesome just to witness all the different ways that our creativity is used, played with, expressed, all of that. I added the link for our Create More community. You can click on that and learn a little bit more about the year-round community that we have, that we put together for all of you. It's really a lot of fun. Bye.